What is up, viewers? It is time for another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This time it is going to be a standard battle on Kharkov, one of the newer maps to World of Tanks, and there is no other type of battle on this map as of yet. In fact, there are a limited number of maps, surprisingly limited number, that have assault and encounter battles. I guess the devs just decided they really don't want to make that a thing. Although I can think of where the encounter would be here on Kharkov. I mean, let's face facts, it'd probably be in that little circular region in the lower right-hand corner of the minimap. But anyway, this is a submission from Merlin 2013, part of the Troop Clan, and a real-life friend of mine as well. We spent a couple of years together hanging out and enjoying each other's company, and I still talk with him from time to time. In fact, the main way we actually converse now is via World of Tanks. When we're both online, I hit him up and be like, hey buddy, want a platoon? And he's like, yeah, sure. Now, is he as experienced as I am in this game? Not quite, but he's definitely a decent player. And right here, we see him driving his T28 prototype. And his platoon mate is as well. The T28 prototype, I hear many a player complain about how they despise their proto, and really not huge fans of the vehicle. In fact, I've come across very few players who say they enjoy the vehicle. As you can tell, very slow. In fact, almost as bad as the T95. That's the number I was looking for. The T95 is only slightly slower. I mean, it has much better armor. Although that right there, glancing a shot, the prototype not having bad armor for itself. And now that I pay attention to the map, there are tier 6 vehicles on each team, definitely providing the T28 prototype with an opportunity to abuse its rather decent armor. I mean, even tier 10 tanks are known to bounce off it from time to time if you are not aiming in the right position. Now this T32 trying to come up on their flank, and the T28 prototype demonstrating it's one of its positives there, which is having a turret. Now, if you notice, in the lower left-hand corner, it does not have a fully rotationary turret. It actually only turns, I believe, a total of like 270, 280 degrees in full rotation, which means it can go a lot to one side and a lot to the other side, but it cannot actually go behind it. So if you actually run around this vehicle, it's going to have to make its turret swing all the way around. And one of the best places you can be on this tank is behind it, because its turret cannot physically turn there to shoot you. I'm just giving you guys tips and tricks on how to beat the vehicle that I'm commentating, and also maybe how to play it. Right here, as you can tell, Merlin actually angling his armor, his frontal armor there a bit, which is always a good idea. Anytime you have, well, I mean, let's look at this vehicle. Anytime you have flat armor like that, unlike the Russian vehicles which have the piked front, you're going to want to angle it, no matter what the vehicle is. Now, the team's pretty even at this point, 2 for 2, mostly tier 6 and 7 vehicles lost, so nothing major. Both teams have pretty much all their tier 8 tanks, and Merlin and his ally here still doing okay on hit points. Merlin especially, his buddy about approximately 50%, a little bit lower in this T32, wanting to get a little bit aggressive here and pull up, but it will be the demise of him. So 4-3, and the teams actually are starting to take shape here. The enemy team being the only one to have lost a tier 8 vehicle so far, definitely not boding well for them. And this Su-152 way down the way, I'm wondering if he has a high explosive shell, but I guess we don't find out right now, as he did not manage to take the shot. The downside to the 152's larger cannon, very inaccurate, and that sounded like it fired, so it is firing high explosive right now. He definitely fired as he is backing off. A KV-5 spotted, one of those vehicles you really don't see too often anymore. In fact, it is one of the most uncommon premium vehicles I see now. I guess a lot of people just not enjoying playing it too much. It is being driven by an Elvis player, so Elvis, a pretty good clan, and sorry for the bump of the desk there. But right here, Merlin just kind of blind firing a little bit, not even really getting much of an outline. I'm not sure if that's a product of the replay or just how his game was functioning at the time. But that KB5 certainly not going to last all too much longer. Okay, right now he is aiming for that little hatch on top of the tank, and he will manage to get the kill. Now, the KB5 does have good all-around armor, but it also has a lot of weak spots, a lot of hatches, and a lot of turrets. So it's one of those vehicles that if you know where to shoot it, and it's pretty obvious of where to shoot it, you can do damage. But if you shoot it anywhere else other than those weak spots, you're probably not going to get through. So this tier 6 vehicle almost getting eliminated. Merlin taking the shot he was going to take. The only shot he had, I mean. And it comes down to that mentality of you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Merlin, I completely agree here, taking the lead for his lower health ally. And this is what you got to get. Okay, so many times in pub random battles, I was going to call it pubbies, which is still technically right. But in random battles, you see players who are too concerned about their own tank's hit points, who are too concerned about scratching their own paint, that they will not take the shot for a near-death ally and let their ally just explode, which removes a gun from the game, which makes your team less effective at doing damage. And I'm just going to say it out front. If you have more hit points than a friendly vehicle next to you, and he's about to get shot, pull out in front of him and take the hit for him. I mean, it's going to come out to the benefit of your team. Unfortunately, Merlin not zooming in quick enough. He just could not get the angle he needed to shoot that SU-152 reliably until at the end there. He did just use his repair kit on his ammo rack, which I'm not sure what actually damaged him here. I'm just going to go back a little bit. I wish there was a better way to rewind than that. And I'm kind of curious as to what shot him. So it was an ISU-152, and based on the amount of damage he is using the BL-10, so certainly nothing to be taken lightly. That Indian Panzer still very much staying alive. He has been running around this map left and right. What is it about Indian Panzer players in these past few games that have just been exceptional at staying alive and just managing to get off damage and be effective for their team? Apparently, Indian Panzer players are just a cut above the rest. I'm semi-close to mine. I have my awful Panther. I just can't seem to find the will to play it enough. But still, a very well-played match for Merlin and Vaughn there. Ooh, apparently the replay messing when I rewinded. Apparently it gave Vaughn some hit points back. I don't know. That's just definitely a glitch in the replay, but the IS-3 being the last vehicle right there. The IS-3 apparently doing over 1,050 damage. I mean, yeah. So let's just ignore the fact that the replay derped up there, but still very well played by Merlin. Total of 5 kills, just a slow and steady push between him and his platoon mate through that street, that alleyway, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't quite an alley because there was a road there, but you know what I mean. And just slow, steady push, definitely managed to win it for their team. I mean, 15-10, their team doing very well for themselves. That T28, I'm not going to trust those hit point numbers because of the way the replay mixed up, but let's just go to those post-game stats and see how he did. And here we go, getting himself high caliber and mastery badge ace tanker, definitely pulling his weight for his team, and just the number of shots he took at enemy vehicles, definitely indicative of that. Total damage, well, wow. Between the two of them, over 3,700 for both of them, 3,900 for Merlin specifically, and just absolutely demonstrating awesome teamwork between the two of them. So proto teamwork, definitely a thing, and when you push together like that on a slow, steady push where tier 8 is the max. Let's face the facts here. Prototypes, quite good in city maps, especially when you have a tier 8 match where they are top dog. They can do quite well for themselves. Unfortunately, Merlin did take that hard hit from that enemy ISU-152, who did quite well for himself on the enemy team, but just not well enough. The enemy vehicles having a fair amount of decent damage spread, and looks like KV-85 and a T-37 really doing nothing for his team. But what can you do? Players are going to be, bad players are going to be bad. Maybe that's being a little bit judgmental, but I reserve that right every now and again. Anyway, 17 shots, 13 penetrations, and doing decently well on experience and credit turn. Looks like he is running premium, so good for him, managing to rush his way through the lines a little bit quicker. For those of you who don't know, premium basically gives you 50% more experience and 50% more credits, just making the grinds take a little bit shorter and helping you to get to those higher tier 9 and 10 vehicles, and to an extent tier 8, but tier 8 isn't too terribly bad to get to. Well, in my opinion, that comparatively speaking, tier 9 and tier 10 are just ridiculously long grinds. But anyway, I digress. If you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay, be sure to check the description below for instructions on how to submit that. But until next time, I almost forgot to say, if you got suggestions on how I can make my channel or videos better, please put those in the comment section below. I will definitely read and heed. And until next time, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.
Yeah!